Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Carla, a pelvic rehab physical therapist. I want to talk to you today in more detail about a topic that's quite common that I treat a lot in my patients in the clinic, as well as what I hear and see online. The topic is called power peeing, and I'm going to tell you if you are pressing, pushing, straining to get the urine stream started or to try to empty your bladder more completely and try to force that, that is what we call power peeing. And that is something that can actually cause more harm than good. Simply put, the bladder has its own built-in muscle wall, just like the rectum, and that is a type of muscle called smooth muscle, and that has a lot of control from our nervous system. The pelvic floor muscles that support the bladder and the rectum are skeletal muscles. We have voluntary control over them. If you are pushing and straining, please stop. You're creating more pressure down on those pelvic organs, the bladder and the rectum, and that leads to those pelvic floor muscles to make it much more difficult and challenging while they're trying to handle that pressure from above. So if you're pushing and straining, you're creating more downward pressure, which actually makes it harder for that bladder and for that rectum to be able to do their job. This topic is talking about power peeing, but what I'm referring to can certainly help with bowel movements to make it easier to have bowel movements. Essentially, the pelvic floor muscles need to soften, lengthen, and release in order for the bladder to contract to do its job to be able to empty. If you have been told that you're not emptying your bladder completely, say you went to see your physician and they did some tests and determined that you're not emptying your bladder completely, or if you're experiencing signs of what we call an overactive bladder, it can actually be because of poor toileting habits. Poor toileting habits include hovering over the toilet and not sitting down, pushing or straining to try to empty that bladder. Please stop doing that. Again, pelvic floor muscles need to soften, lengthen, and release. And you can do that by simply engaging some deep breathing and minimize the pushing and straining to try to get that bladder to empty more completely. Also, another strategy to improve toileting habits, bladder habits, being able to pee better, is to minimize what we call just in case peeing. So just in case before you leave the home, even though you went to the bathroom, say like 15 minutes ago, there's no way the bladder is going to be able to be full in that short amount of time. It may feel like it, and that's a sign of, say, overactive bladder, perhaps. If you're experiencing those symptoms, frequent urination, pushing or straining to empty the bladder or to get the urine stream started, and this is for all genders, seek out a pelvic floor therapist, a physical therapist, an occupational therapist in your area to get assessed to see how your pelvic floor muscles are doing. Again, stop power peeing. It creates more pressure down on that pelvic floor that can actually cause more difficulty with the pelvic organ functions, such as emptying the bladder and emptying the rectum. Strategies to include are sitting down on the toilet, sitting with upright posture, taking your time to void. You feel like you're not completely empty, you can move around a little bit, nothing excessive. But one of the best strategies is to be mindful and to be aware of breathing, just giving your body some time so those pelvic floor muscles that support the bladder and the rectum can soften, lengthen, and release. Visualize that, and that can certainly help improve the function of the bladder and to stop the power peeing. I will include evidence-based research articles in the link below. So then you can certainly read the research that talks about the importance of not power peeing, not pushing, not straining to void, and how you can help yourself to improve your toileting habits, because the poor toileting habits can lead to a lot of bladder and or bowel issues. Stay tuned to this channel. Comment, please provide any feedback or comment in the comment section, I should say, if you have any questions or anything else that you would like for me to delve further into this topic. But evidence-based proven strategies to improve bladder emptying include maintaining a good posture on the toilet, minimize the hovering on the toilet, minimize pushing and straining, no power peeing, breathe. When in doubt, breathe. It helps to visualize softening, lengthening, and releasing the pelvic floor so then the bladder can do its job to empty completely. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for the support. And I look forward to talking more about pelvic health and overall improving our health, our wellness, function, and mobility for those of us over the age of 40, especially those of us for over the age of 40. But nonetheless, power peeing, I've had young people that are doing this as well as older people. And bottom line is, it's a really easy way to correct through posture, breathing, give your body more time, and realize you're not doing anything to contract that bladder, because the bladder has its own built-in muscle wall to be able to allow it to contract and empty completely. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for the support. Be well.